Hello and welcome back to another video on the F1 Journal and to my 2025 F1 driver lineup predictions. Normally I do these videos a bit later in the year, but Lewis Hamilton and that move to Ferrari has definitely set the ball rolling on this one a bit earlier. No changes last year, but I don't feel like that's going to be the same this year. In fact, we know it's not going to be the same. I think we're going to see lots of changes, so let's get straight into my driver lineup predictions, starting off at Red Bull with Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez. I think, Max Verstappen, there has been rumours about him going to Mercedes, but personally I can't see it, at least not this year. He's definitely throwing away a championship next year, you'd say. It just doesn't make sense, and I think he could go in 2026, but definitely not for next year. And Perez, there's history between Verstappen and Sainz, and I just don't think they're convinced by Ricciardo or Tsunoda enough to promote him. So I don't think Perez is going to keep his seat out of good performance. I just think he's going to keep it because, there's no one better to replace him, really. Moving on into Mercedes, and George Russell is all but confirmed. Things would go really crazy if Russell wasn't confirmed. And I think I can see him taking on the team leader position, because I'm going to say F2 hotshot Andrea Kimi Antonelli will get the second Mercedes seat. It may come out of left field, but I think Toto Wolff really sees him as the next Verstappen and will want to rush him through into teams to make sure he doesn't lose him. Is he ready for it? I'm not totally convinced, but would it be better chucking him now than when Mercedes aren't going to be at the front next year? I guess in a way it does make sense, but be very interested to see how it goes. Ferrari is is obviously closed for next year now. Carlos Sainz leaving the team with Lewis Hamilton coming in. Obviously Hamilton hasn't had the best start to the season, but I think in a way we've kind of seen Hamilton since Mercedes haven't been at the front, just trying these new setups, etc. I think he still will be at his best if he's got a title winning car, undoubtedly, and for me this will be the best driver lineup on the grid next year. McLaren also will be unchanged for next year, and if Ferrari have the best driver lineup on the grid currently, I think obviously Hamilton getting on a bit in maybe 3 or 4 years, whatever, this will probably be the best driver lineup on the grid. So much great young talent. We've seen what Norris and Piastri can both do, and give them a title-winning car and they'd definitely be right up there. Moving on into Aston Martin, and Alonso has signed his new deal to remain with the team. There were questions about him potentially moving to Mercedes or Red Bull, but I think for me that always seemed like a bit of a long shot. I think, this was obviously going to be the most likely place that Alonso stayed, and obviously he's got a long-term deal now. And then, we know the deal with Lance Stroll. I can't see him changing teams, to be honest. Moving on then to Alpine, and there's a bit of thought about this one. I would say Gasly definitely will stay. I think he's got another year on his contract. Ocon, he's been at Alpine for quite a while now. He's definitely been a leading driver and might want to use their woes to kind of find a different drive, but at the same time I was looking through the grid and I just couldn't really see any massive openings for Ocon, to be honest, and I think staying at a manufacturer team, it still does appeal. But moving on into Williams, and I'm going to say Alex Albon will stay at the team. Looking at the grid, I just don't think there's any real major options for Albon to go to. Whether he signs a new long-term contract or Williams commits his future to them or tries to find a different seat in a few years remains to be seen. But I think, definitely for next year at least, Albon will stay. And I think Bottas could rejoin the team. Obviously, it starts off in F1 there. I think Audi wants to go in a different direction, but Bottas is still a very good midfield driver, very quick and has a lot to offer. And I think, that could be a spicy lineup. I think, obviously, Sargent won't stay. But moving on then to Tsunoda and Lawson, and that's my RB driver lineup. I think, Tsunoda has done a great job this season, but the question is he's not a long-term fit in the Red Bull family, I don't think. Is there any other seat where I can see him fitting into at the moment? No, I don't think so. Ricciardo hasn't really done the job this year, and I think that could spell the end of his time, especially as an older driver in a junior program. Lawson was so impressive. Helmut Marko really likes him, so I can see him getting a drive. Moving on into Audi, or Sauber as it will still be known next year. Nico Hülkenberg now confirmed for that team. I think that's obvious. They wanted the German driver. Hülkenberg's been so impressive since his return to the grid, and what a story for him getting back into there, and I can't wait to see how he does there. And the final seat, I'm going to say Carlos Sainz. So I think Sainz will try and get a Mercedes and a Red Bull seat, but for me I don't think that'll be open. Rumours about Audi setting deadlines for Sainz, I believe, are utter nonsense. He's the best driver they can get, and they'll get him no matter how long it takes. And I think, setting up a long-term partnership, which could be really successful, you never know. And finally at Haas, I'm going to say seat number 1, Oliver Bearman. I don't think there's much debate about this. It looks pretty much sure with all the FP1s he's doing. The performance at Saudi Arabia was so impressive, and I can't wait to see him get a chance in full-time F1. And for the second seat, I'm going to say Daniel Ricciardo. I thought long and hard about this. Could Kevin Magnussen stay? Potentially, but for me, he's just not really done the job over the past last few years. And I think, yeah, Ricciardo, I can't see a place for him in the RB family, but I still get the feeling that he wants to stay in F1. And I think, yeah, being an experienced hand at Haas, we know Haas-like experienced hands, could be a left field option, but one that I think could be really interesting and may happen, to be honest. So anyway guys, that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share and subscribe. Follow us on our socials, link in the description below for daily F1 news, meme and content. Subscribe to our other channels on screen right now, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.